What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com, and Restored Motions. If you have pain, go see my girl, Crystal Poche. She will help bring you through it. Restoredmotions.com. All right, how about it, y'all? LSU goes on the road to Gainesville and beats the Gators 45-35. Fantastic win for LSU. It was so nice to see the offense get going. It's something we've all waited for, really all season so far. Now by the seventh playing date, you saw the offense pop off a little bit, which was awesome to see. And question becomes, can you continue to carry it forward now? I know we referenced like Mettenberger in 2012, around November, really breaking through. We referenced, oh, that's brutal. We referenced Burrow in 18. Speaking of which, I'm looking right now at the Cincinnati Bengals Twitter account. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Joe Burrow showed up at the Dome today wearing a Jamar Chase. I guess that is Jamar's national championship jersey. That's that's his jersey, Jamar's jersey from the Natty. Tugging at my heartstrings, Joe. I don't like it at all. Anyway. All right, so really good win for LSU. You now move to 5-2 on the season through 7 games. You have road wins over Auburn and Florida, which has never been done before in LSU history, where they've beaten both Florida and Auburn on the road in the same season. Hey, bud. You want to come say hi to Dad show?
Videos on.
You want videos on Daddy's phone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Can y'all give me like 20 seconds to get him something real quick? Okay, I'll be right back. Be right back. All right. My apologies. Okay. But great win to get the offense going. And look, you could look at the 35 points that you gave up and say the defense didn't have a great day. The real disappointing thing about that is the defense actually wasn't terrible in the ball game. You gave up the 51-yard touchdown on the second offensive snap, and then you gave up an 81-yard touchdown, so that was 2 plays. And then after the muff, you gave up a short field. So, the 51-yard touchdown, you kind of tip your cap. Jark Bernard Converse was there in coverage. Their guy beat your guy. The 81-yard touchdown run, great individual effort. I would have loved to have seen Baskerville, Fouché, Brooks. A lot of guys had a chance to just get him to the ground instead of trying to go for the ball or make a big play. And then obviously the short field after the muff. I mean, that's 21 points that feels fixable. You know what I mean? So anyway, a fantastic game. So Josh Williams got the game ball. He went over 100 yards rushing. John Emery had his first receiving touchdown as a Tiger. Nails by Damian Ramos at the end of the game to hit that 47-yarder. 47-yarder. It was phenomenal. Just a really, really, really great game all around. All right, y'all know the drill. We'll say some good mornings here, see what y'all got. As long as y'all have questions, I'll stay and answer them. We'll talk. So not only did LSU beat Florida, we got Saints-Bengals today as well at noon. So it'll be a time. Kelly Rose, Bubba Tatum, good morning. Great morning to wake up in Florida. Yeah. Bubba's down there in Tampa. Stephen Dufour, I was a week late. Colin Daniels having his best game of the season, finally turned it loose. A Hong Tam win. How about Bama losing to Tennessee? Yeah, man. I picked Tennessee in that game. I thought they were the better team. They were, but it goes to show you, man, how hard it is to beat Bama. Tennessee scored 52. Bama got down, gave up a 21-point first quarter. They were down 18 points. Bama had 17 penalties, which is the most in the history of the program in one game. All of the things that Tennessee did well, that Bama did wrong, and it still came down to a walk-off field goal from 45, whatever it was, 47 yards at the end. Rick Kelly, Matt, you need to talk to Tebow about his lack of enthusiasm during Whiskey and Wine. Blaine Smith, not so special team, showed up early, but got a huge field goal late to ice it. Yes. Jerry DeLucky, you always say get the ball to the freak shows, let them do their thing. They did that yesterday. LSU's receivers, look, from the first offensive series of the game for LSU, you had a 3rd and 8. And you pushed it to Kayshawn for 40 yards. It was a play where he kind of got open on the sideline, caught it, turned up field. That was phenomenal to see. On a 3rd and 15, they went to Kayshawn on the sideline. He got you 14 yards. You went for it on the 4th and 1 and got it. Just look at the deep balls. The 54-yard touchdown to Jure, the play to Brian Thomas for the touchdown in the corner of the end zone. It was it was so refreshing to see. Look, Florida's defense is bad, y'all. Florida's defense is bad, but Tennessee's pass defense was bad. And you weren't able to take advantage of it. It was nice to see you take advantage. Robbie Beamer, does it put us back in the top 25? I don't think so, Robbie. I don't think you had enough teams at the bottom of the top 25 lose, and I don't know that beating an unranked Florida team does it. Then again, I think beating Auburn wouldn't put him in. So probably not, but who knows? Kathy Woodard Benedict, how does LSU fix special teams problems? So I'll put it to you this way, Kathy. It's not Brian Polian's fault that Jack Besh muffed a punt. The special teams coach wasn't out there dropping the punt. Okay. And I can live sometimes with that. But like a week ago against Tennessee, when he muffed the opening kickoff, you had chaos right before the kick, where Besh and the other returner switched sides, and then he had to run up 20 yards. And it's like, you've seen enough on film, or should have seen enough, to scout what they were going to do or what they were possibly going to do. There weren't terrible conditions. It wasn't like all that was altered. And the same thing last night, where they were telling Besh to come up. Could he have fair caught it? Yes. Probably should have fair caught it. But my point is, a lot of those things are putting your players in positions to have success and to not make mistakes. There was an illegal formation on the punt at the end of the game. In the 4th quarter, you had a 3rd and 3, and they threw the ball across the crosser to Kayshawn. It was a little behind him. He dropped it. You punted. You had a legal formation. You had a legal formation on a punt. Like, that's the kind of thing where, and it was beautiful. Like, you got the punt off, down at the 14-yard line, and you had to re-kick because you had an illegal formation. That's the kind of thing where it's a lack of attention to detail, and ultimately that's why Brian Polian is not going to keep his job. I don't know how you could possibly justify that after the way this has gone through 7 games. Stephen Sloan, Jeremy Sagely, Kirk Taylor, Don Jolibois, Missy Martin, good morning. Steve Colson, Hutco tees too? Yeah, bro, we got him. You better believe it. Hutco hat, Hutco tees. Matt McGuire, what's going on? Let's see. Holler at my YouTube peeps here. Donald A. Me, Wendell Norman, Stuart Angers, Tyler Clavel, Trivia Carter, Bill Gallion, what's up? Dane Bergeron. Matt, headed back from duck hunting in North Dakota. I had to come up here and kill something after the Tennessee game. Loved the game yesterday. Jesse Post, good morning. T-Bob is a handful on whiskey and wine, isn't he? Actually, the last 2 weeks, he's gotten much milder. The Auburn game, I think he had a little bit of he acknowledged having a little bit of a introspective come to Jesus moment. He was a little much that night. Brad David, Jason Mobile, any word would happen to Besh? Yeah, his back tightened up. So his back tightened up, and so they shut him down at halftime. C Trey 193 always feels good to beat Florida. By the way, the second time in series history that LSU has won 4 in a row against Florida. The only other time that happened was from 1977 to 1980 when LSU won 4 straight against the Gators. Jason Smith, let's see, survived 6-3. Morning, Matt. What a game by the offense. Didn't expect us to win. I didn't either. Look, I had Florida win in a close game, and I'd said if the game was in Baton Rouge, I would have picked LSU. But LSU, I don't know that it could have started any worse. It was basically what we've expected, how this team starts. You allow a 47-yard, that's another special. You allow a 47-yard kickoff return to start the game. Your coverage units have been awful. And then on the second play of the game, you get beat for a 51-yard touchdown. So just like that, you're down 7-0. But like we talked about, I can't believe it really is surprising to me that that as long as Brian Kelly is coached, that we have to continue giving the explanation for why you defer. Look at what happened. Even though you got down 7-0, which same thing happened against Auburn. You won the toss, deferred. They scored on a deep play, a busted route early. You were down 7-0. But look at how the half ended. LSU ended up scoring on the Jure touchdown. You had to kind of put your 4-minute offense in, but you scored quickly. You scored in 5 plays because you hit the deep shot. So it's 28-21 at half. You get the ball to start the second half. You score. It's 35-21. You go back-to-back scores. I mean, that's why you defer. And then, of course, you have the possessions flip into your favor in the second half. So you're trying to steal an extra possession. It ain't hard. I mean, it ain't hard to figure out why you do it. Anyway. Yeah, I thought LSU would lose a close game. I picked Florida 28-24. Hell, that was a score almost on the nose at halftime in reverse. It was LSU 28-21 at half. So I didn't see the offense coming. I didn't see the point totals that they put up last night. I think the Vegas total in that game was like 50, maybe 50 and a half or something like that. I mean, shoot, they basically had that at halftime. So, yeah, a game that not many of us expected that it would play out that way, but LSU got the offense going. Jaden Daniels looked awesome. I mean, he finally was taking shots downfield. And the other thing that, and I mentioned this on Whiskey and Wine, I'll say it again here before we go any further, got to give a huge hat tip to the LSU offensive line. And having Will Campbell back obviously made a difference, but you ran the ball for 179 yards. He averaged 4.7 yards a carry. Josh Williams, 14 for 106. His 50-yard run on the first play of the second half was awesome. Just bulling through dudes, breaking arm tackles. That was just Will. I mean, that was like a one-man effort. He got hit like at the line and turned that into a 50-yard run. So I thought the offensive line played really well, and they protected Jaden Daniels. Florida on the game had 1 sack, which was actually on LSU's first possession when Will Campbell got beat around left end. 1 sack, only 3 TFLs. There were 4 QB hurries, but compare that to last week when Daniels was sacked 5 times. There were 9 TFLs. I don't know, half dozen quarterback hurries as well. So basically every drop back was a problem last week. Last night against Florida, I thought the offensive line had maybe their best game of the year. Jeremy Gordon, good morning from Hollywood, Florida. Okay. Randall Offracht. LSU showing they can improve every week. That's coaching. You know what else, Randall? This doesn't need to be like we don't need to do this comparative analysis like every single week. But I don't know if you'll notice, but Notre Dame lost last night. They lost to Stanford. And Stanford had previously been a 1-win football team. I think maybe Stanford had beaten Northwestern. Let me check to make sure I got that right. But Notre Dame lost last night 16-14. So Notre Dame's 3-3 on the season. Excuse me. Yeah, Stanford's 2-4. Coming into last night, they were 1-4. Their only win was against Colgate. Stanford beat Colgate in the opener, then lost to USC, Washington, Oregon, and Oregon State. So they were 1-4 going to Notre Dame, and they beat Notre Dame last night 16-14. Again, I'm not here to play a comparative analysis game, but Marcus Freeman inherited a playoff contender. Brian Kelly inherited a disaster. Brian Kelly's 5-2, 3-1 in the SEC with road wins at Auburn and Florida. Marcus Freeman is 3-3 with losses to Marshall and previously 1-4 Stanford. Coaching matters, and LSU has a really good one. Let's see, Hunter Broadhead, Matt, what did you think of roughing the passer? I hate the rule, but it's a good call. I mean, you know by now you cannot land your body weight onto a quarterback. You can't do it. And the Florida player, and it wasn't roughing because of helmet-to-helmet contact. And the Florida player did a great job. He kept his face up. Remember, it's if you lead with the crown of your helmet or forcible contact to the head and neck area. He was making a football play, wrapping, kept his head up, went face mask to face mask. So he did a good job there, but the problem he had was after the ball was gone, he continued to drive and then fell his full body weight onto Daniels. And you can't do that. Like, I hate the rule, but you can't do it. So, I mean, they're going to protect quarterbacks, and it was 100% the right call. The bigger thing that I had a problem with was overturning the Jure catch and the Perkins fumble. And just to be clear, I was being at Don Juan for the second half. Couldn't really hear the announcer, so I couldn't hear the explanation. So I'm not sure I saw a great view of it, but I thought the Perkins thing was a no-brainer. And the fact that they overturned Jure's catch was surprising. Hey, babe. But anyway. Janet, any info on Jack Pash? Yeah, I mentioned that his back tightened up. Michael Costello, good morning, great game. Tyler Cooley, morning, Matt. How about former walk-on running back Williams? Our offense was humming. That should the product expected. Yeah, Williams got the game ball. Some person, LSU's Florida's daddy. 4 in a row, for sure. Trent Delahousse, good morning, Matt. I wonder how Glenn Gilbo's morning is going. I don't care. And I did see Glenn tweet last night. I thought about replying, but I just said, let's just ignore it. It was something like Kelly 1, Napier 0, blah, 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 like 2 because there's no point playing that game, y'all. Like, LSU didn't interview Billy Napier. It wasn't like they were making a choice between the two. Florida and LSU both hired good coaches who are both going to win a lot. So I don't need to do this every year. There's no point. Chance Babin, let's see, Bill Gallion, Jason H., Brett DeGrow, Tyler Clavell, Peyton MC. We can beat Ole Miss. Peyton, I've already picked LSU to beat Ole Miss. I said that last week. I said it yesterday on the show that I was picking LSU to lose to Florida, but I think that they're going to beat Ole Miss. And part of the reason is, we've talked about this since the summer, like literally since media days. I referenced this last night on Whiskey and Wine. Interviewed Richard Cross at media days, and Richard is host Super Talk Mississippi. He covers Ole Miss, does a great job. And I remember sitting there with him, and he said, pull up Ole Miss's schedule. And we did, and we looked at it. I was like, oh, man. I was like, if they beat Kentucky, they'd probably come to Baton Rouge undefeated. And here we are. So, but Ole Miss may also lose out from here. I mean, I don't think they will, but they could. Like now here comes the meat of their schedule. So where they're going to play LSU and Arkansas and Bama and Texas A&M and then Mississippi State. I mean, that's what they have ahead right now. So it's Ole Miss has not been challenged. Yet Auburn gashed them yesterday. Tank Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter ran free. And while I think Lane Kiffin's a great coach and he's a great play caller and all that stuff, I don't think Ole Miss is. I do not think Ole Miss is a top 10 team in the country. I think by virtue of the record, they're ranked there, but the meat of their schedule is coming, and they are going to lose games moving forward. Mike the Tiger, Florida's daddy, Alan Black, Nicholas Cantrell, Brad Johnson, Austin Kidder. Y'all hear that chirp chirp crickets from the Jaden Daniels haters. But I don't think there needs to be like feuding internally among LSU fans. But the reality remains Jaden Daniels is your best chance to win. We do not need to have this conversation. We never needed to have this conversation. He's your best chance to win. He's a lot like what Danny Etling was in 2017, a guy who's going to make good decisions, who's going to get you in and out of the plays, who's not going to panic in a big moment, who is going to protect the football. He's going to give you the best chance to win. It may not always look the best, but when it does look good, it's going to look like it did last night, which is awesome. And hopefully that's progress that they can continue making throughout the remaining 5 games of the season. Tad Page, what's up? Blake Canfield, Matt Lusto, still impressive. Isn't that partially because Florida and Auburn are traditionally both road games in the same season until Foley's folly? No, because remember Matt Luso, after that they doubled it up to where they played back-to-back years in Baton Rouge and back-to-back years in Gainesville, and then it was back on schedule. So no, so it has been that way forever, where LSU plays the road games against Auburn and Florida in the same year. Some Kelly haters were mad last night. Sean O'Bannon, Edward O, Morning Matthew, great win. Still work to do, especially on defense. Gave up some big plays. Yeah, I mean, that's overall that the defense played well. I mean, the really disappointing part is, so the first possession, Florida scores on the second play, the big play over the top. Then you answer with a touchdown. John Emery's first career receiving touchdown, by the way. Then Florida gets the ball and they go on a 10-play, 75-yard drive where they didn't throw a pass. 10 plays, all on the ground. And that was kind of my concern, because the thing that Florida, like the best unit on the field, either team, going in, I probably would have said was Florida's offensive line. I did say it was Florida's offensive line. And that's what I feared, was those running backs and Richardson loading up behind that big offensive line and just running the ball, and LSU not being able to stop it. And that's what they did on that drive. 10 plays, all on the ground, 75 yards, and they scored. Well, then LSU answered to tie it. And when Florida got the ball back, it stunned me, because I thought, like, why wouldn't they just keep running the ball? But they went, they had a call pass. Richardson scrambled for 4 yards. Then they threw a pass which lost a yard. And on 3rd and 7, they threw a pass which gained 1 yard. So they went pass. And they went 3 and out. And then Besh muffed the punt. So you got that 3 and out right there. And then on the next possession, you got another 3 and out, which is where Baskerville got the sack on 3rd and 6. And that's when they put Gregory Clayton back in there to return the punt. But so you got those, like, you settled, and you got those back-to-back 3 and outs, and then you got the stop before half. So basically, those 3 stops, or really the stop, the stop which gave LSU the ball to go up 28-21, and the stop at the end of the first half gave you the ball with a lead to start the second half. You scored again. So, and then you got the turnover on downs. So defense, look, the defense made a bunch of plays, man. They did. It's you, if you zoom out and you kind of look at it in total, you'll look and you'll go, yeah, they gave up a big play on the second play of the game. They gave the 81-yard touchdown run to Richardson, and Florida scored on a short field after the muff. I mean, you clean up those three, because there wasn't nothing fluky about LSU scores, y'all. I mean, look at LSU's scoring drives in this game. I mean, 12 plays, 75 yards. 12 plays, 73 yards. 7 plays, 75 yards. 5 plays, 83. That was the Jure 54-yarder. 4 plays, 75 yards. That was to start the second half. 13 plays, 88 yards. 12 plays, 46 yards. That was the field goal at the end of the game. I mean, they were long, sustained drives. I mean, there was nothing fluky about them. Y'all do me a favor, smash that like button. 329 watching on YouTube. That's awesome. Please do me a solid. Smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. Appreciate it greatly. We're here every single day for Morning Scone. So shout out to Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco is pinned in the chat. Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. And Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. If you have pain, trust me, book a session with Crystal Poche. She will help bring you out of that pain. RestoredMotions.com. Patrick Cason, I watched a number of Arizona. Oh, these are going fast, sorry. I think he was talking about Jaden. Let's see. Tony Cortello, game was a huge step forward. Daniels played great. Did the things he has done all season. Yes, but I'll tell you a big part of it also was having time. Was having time in the pocket. When he isn't under total duress and having to tuck the ball and run. I mean, even the throw, y'all, to Cole Taylor. This LSU was up 21-14. LSU was down 21-14. So Besh, Muff, Florida scores. Florida's up 21-14. LSU gets the ball back. Daniels gets tackled at the line for no gain. Throws an incomplete pass. So it's 3rd and 10. And he gets Cole Taylor over the middle for 26 yards. He threaded that ball. I mean, on an obvious passing down on 3rd and 10, the line held up, even with your tight end running a route, and he threaded that ball down the middle of the field. I mean, those were the types of plays that the game within the game that won this game for you. When you were able to convert on some 3rd and longs that were obvious passing downs. Third and 8, Booty for 40. 3rd and 15, Booty for 14. Then Emory converted on 4th and 1. Jaden only threw 1 incomplete pass on 3rd down the whole game. And it was the crosser to Kayshawn on 3rd and 3 that he kind of dropped. I mean, it was behind him a little bit, but that was the only incomplete pass that Jaden threw on 3rd down. I mean, that's 3rd and 8 was the 54-yarder to Jure. I mean, heads up play by Jaden. He noticed he had a free play because Florida was offside, so he took his deep shot and he connected. So it was awesome to see the touchdown pass to Brian Thomas. I mean, putting it up there, letting the guy go make a play. And I also, we haven't talked about it yet, but I also think, I did mention this on Whiskey and Wine, I think Mike Denbrock deserves a major kudos. He called an awesome game. They had Florida guessing a lot throughout the course of this ball game, and a lot of the formations that they ran were great. I mean, they ran an option shovel to Mason Taylor on a 3rd down, which we have not seen yet, where Jaden was running right and then optioned it forward to Mason Taylor, and that got a 1st down. Pitch wasn't the best, but Mason Taylor made a play. It's what we've been asking people to do. I'm so excited about that. Somebody just, I'll get to it, but someone on YouTube just said, what's RC going to make Channing wear? So when RC was on AFR, I got to go clip that. I've got to go clip that and post it now. When RC was on AFR on Thursday, Channing Crowder was with him because they were going to film the pivot, and they made a Florida LSU bet on AFR. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So on the pivot, Channing's going to have to wear LSU stuff. That's great. Glad you reminded me of that. Stephen Fry, what's up? I'm sure Brian Driscoll will burn down his podcast set. Craig Duca, Jason Gibson, Renee Marks, Jeremy Sagely, Jason Gibson. Did you see Burrow showed up to the Dome in Jamar's? He wore Joe showed up to the Dome today in Jamar's national championship jersey. Craig Duca, but giving us a chance. Michael Thacker, chance of 3 SEC teams now in the playoffs. So, Michael, I I think the only way it could happen. Yeah, I don't think it can happen. I don't, because you would have to have so Tennessee and Georgia will play each other. One of those teams would lose. The other would have to go undefeated. So let's say hypothetically, let's just say Georgia beats Tennessee. If Georgia beats Tennessee, you have a Georgia-Bama SEC championship. Undefeated Georgia, one loss Bama. Tennessee runs the table the rest of the way, finishes with one loss. One loss Bama beats undefeated Georgia. Bama SEC champion is in. And then you have two one-loss SEC East teams. My guess is one-loss Georgia, who beat Tennessee, who lost in the SEC championship game, would get in over one-loss Tennessee, who lost to Georgia. A big part of that, though, would depend on what the rest of college football looked like. I told you about Clemson, man. Clemson was my lock yesterday at -3.5. I think people have slept on Clemson because they took sort of that, for them, mini step back last year, but they are good. Clemson their defense looks awesome again, and DJ Uiagalelei looks like the guy we thought he would be a year ago. Clemson looks like Clemson. So Clemson will go undefeated and win the ACC. I'd be stunned if they didn't. So you could have two SEC teams theoretically. Clemson, I think, will be in there, and likely Ohio State as well. I think Ohio State beats Michigan and rolls. Jamar. Jamar's catching tennis balls, or maybe those are golf balls. All right, let's see. Man, 342 on YouTube. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all for watching, and 111 on Facebook. So we're about 450 people watching live right now. That's great. Appreciate y'all so much. Just be patient with me. I'm gonna get through all the comments. I go through them chronologically, so I do my best to get to all of them. So just be patient with me. So, A Cashman, what's up? Cortland. She have felt a sense of relief watching this offense grow and flourish. I like our matchup, as you said, against Ole Miss. Alan Black. Let's see. John, have you talked about the comments Stephen A. Smith made? I did, John. I did on Friday's AFR at, I think, 4:30 is where I talked about them. So middle of hour 2, right middle of the show on Friday's AFR. Daniels proved he can pass too. Daniels has shown he can pass. I mean, he showed that for 3 years at Arizona State. He just hasn't really flourished here yet, but did last night. And hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Strong side, morning Scone. I think having Campbell back made a huge difference. Obviously, there's no argument to the contrary. I mean, it stabilized the left side of your line. Campbell and Frazier have now started next to each other 3 times. So yes, absolutely. Billy Mathern, Iowa State +10, and the under parlayed. Thanks, Otter and Phil. Yep, hit that one. I didn't parlay them, but I did hit both. Ole Miss looks good, but I think they are beatable. I think Ole Miss is very beatable. Again, that's one I've said for weeks. I think LSU is going to win at home. I like LSU at home in that ball game to win the game. I just looked, the line is 2. It's Ole Miss by 2. And y'all, that's something we talked about, right? Like every game, LSU is going to be in coin flip games every game, except Bama. Bama's the one game where they're going to be a heavy underdog. Every other game, it's going to be within a field goal either side. LSU favored by three or less, or underdog by 3 or less. It's just, that's what it's going to be every week, except, well, obviously UAB, but Bama and UAB. But when LSU goes to Arkansas, it's going to be similar. When LSU goes to A&M, it's going to be similar. Whole game was Hendon Hooker's Heisman moment. Carter DeLon, on Thursday, we do our What to Watch on AFR, and that was one of my What to Watch. It was Hooker's Heisman moment. It was his opportunity, like Burrows in 2019, going on the road and winning at Bama the way they did. See Jared Guillory, Jay Rambo. As long as Booty's part of the game, I don't see LSU losing. I feel like he's the key. I don't know that he's the key because look, I mean, Brian Thomas is awesome when they throw on the ball. Jaray's awesome when they throw on the ball. It's really more. It's less just that. It's more just being willing to spread the ball to your playmakers, and they did that last night for sure. Let's see. Good to see Kayshawn have a big game. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, everybody who has, I know we've had the Kayshawn conversation for a while now, and I've continued to push back against all of you. And I'll be honest, man, last night felt validating for that because, I mean, fans have created this narrative about him, and I've said it for weeks and weeks, y'all. It's just not true. I mean, when you talk to people internally, players, coaches, admit, like, nobody says about Kayshawn what fans are saying internally. Like, and he's just a super quiet guy, so he's not going to step up and defend himself. Like, you don't see him do the player interviews on Tuesdays just because, like, they didn't bring him to media days. I mean, he's preseason All-American, and they didn't bring him to media days because he's kind of quiet. He's not going to thrive in that setting. So I think that's just part of it. It's kind of a general lack of understanding of the young guy. Propane. Jeb Whitley, propane. Yeah, T-Rock was saying propane last night instead of propane. Let's see. 8-4 Dream in 22 still alive. Yeah. Chance Babin, most points allowed against Bama since Swanee dropped 54 in 1907. Is that real? Wow. They haven't allowed 52 since 1907. That's crazy. Let's see. Stevie 2 cent 40 has to be on the field. Almost sealed the game with another game-breaking play. Every time Harold Perkins is on the field, he does make good things happen. Not only did he come up with that strip sack, which got overturned, but there was another play that Perkins made. I think it was a tackle on special teams, actually, y'all. I think LSU punted. I think it was the punt. It was either I didn't chart it. It was either the punt after the illegal formation or the kickoff where Perkins made the tackle on special teams. And it was an open field tackle where if he didn't make the tackle, guy probably had a little bit of room to run. Dude, he just makes plays. He's incredible. Harold Perkins is incredible. I don't know what other superlatives I could use at this point. He's just awesome. He's already a 3-down linebacker. Just the instinctive nature of the play on the strip sack. A lot of guys would just make sure they secure the tackle and would have gone around the waist just to hit the quarterback and then still would have had a chance to throw. Perkins is coming in and instinctively puts his left hand on the ball and then goes for the tackle. Like, in that moment, like, true freshman, split second as it's happening, hand on ball and tackle. It's just like, you don't really coach that. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. The linebackers work on drills where they strip the ball, they go for the ball, like where they're trying to knock the ball out of a quarterback's hand. They do, but man, in that moment, to just do it instinctively as a true freshman is pretty incredible, man. Pretty incredible. Let's see. As always, I'll shout out to Brock. Banner's Orthopedic Clinic After Hours Clinic is open today. Hudco Roofing. The Hudco link is pinned, so I would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Click the link, fill out the form on the homepage, hudcoroofing.com. And of course, Crystal Poche, Restored Motions. If you have pain, she will bring you out of it no matter what that pain is. Chronic pain, you've tried everything. Go see my girl, Crystal Poche at Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Jordan Thomas, not likely. If Jaden stayed for year 2 in the system, he could be really good. That's what we've been waiting to see. Now beat Ole Miss in Tiger Stadium. Yeah, man, should be a great crowd next week. I hate that it's 2:30, but should be a great crowd next week, absolutely. And you know what? The other thing, too, I'll tell you is that all but yesterday with Tennessee beating Bama all but guarantees that LSU-Bama is going to be a night game because and I didn't think that this was possible, so I'll own this for sure. But Tennessee and Georgia is the same day as LSU Bama. So you will have Florida, Georgia, and Jacksonville, which I'm assuming the week before, which I'm assuming Georgia will win. But that November the 5th, Alabama at LSU, my guess is CBS is going to take Tennessee at Georgia. So CBS takes a top 5 matchup in Tennessee, Georgia. That means LSU Bama goes tonight on ESPN. So my guess is that LSU Bama will be a night game on ESPN at Tiger Stadium, which should be awesome. Let's see. Ashley Megan, if anybody follows Sicko's committee, Jaden Daniels was the highest ranking on the Detmer scale, which is hilarious considering he just started passing this season, but he always could. I don't know what that is, but if it's good, cool. Let's see. Jermaine Gordon, how many more do the Tigers win versus lose moving forward? Well, I told you I think they beat Ole Miss. But look, coming into the season, I thought they beat Florida State. They didn't, but I thought they would split October. I thought they beat Mississippi State. I thought they would split October. 4 games in October, 2 home, 2 on the road. I thought they'd probably win 1 home, 1 away, go 2-2. But now they won both road games and lost the home game to Tennessee, so they got 1 more to go. If they lose to Ole Miss, then they do exactly what I thought, which was split October. But if they beat Ole Miss, then they basically make up for the game they lost to Florida State, and then you're in position. I think you lose to Bama, you beat UAB, and then you got back-to-back road games against. I guess you go Bama at Arkansas, UAB at A&M. So I think you lose to Bama, you'll beat UAB. How do you fare in the road games against Arkansas and A&M? If you split them, then you go 7-5. If you assuming you lose to Ole Miss, if you beat Ole Miss and you split those 2, you go 8-4. So, let's see. Jeremy Nuslock, Juan, good morning. Juan's fired up. So Juan's from Ecuador. His brother is a Florida Gator. So he has told me for years how much this Florida matchup means to him. So I'm happy for you today. Beard Gang, what's going on? Let's see. Joseph Fallsgraf, morning Scone, great win. Don Morris, good morning from Pensacola. Let's see. Beard Gang, can't wait to see Trevor Penning play. Same, man. Great to see Daniels trusting his receivers. Kevin Rosselot, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the Saints are the home team and the Bengals are the enemy. I've been fighting that battle for months now, Kevin. Glad you're on my side. Sean O'Bannon, was it his back or his pride after muffing another one? No, come on, Sean. He's talking about Jack Besh. I was told his back tightened up, and Jack's a tough guy, man. Come on, that's. I don't worry, but no one feels worse about muffing that punt than Jack. He's not out there trying to do it, man. I mean, that's sometimes where I think people lose sight. You're talking about a guy who's 19 years old, playing in front of 90,000 people, ESPN audience. Muffed one last week and then got in his head again last night. He's capable, man. He's capable. So, bummer though for sure. Brandon Davis, I'm not trying to make y'all alcoholics, but I wish you and T could do whiskey and wine after Saints games. Yeah, man. But you know what? No, don't worry, Erica. Erica's in there right going, no. But I'll tell you, Brandon, I'll say this again, and anyone who's come out to Don Juan has seen this, so they know it to be true, but I don't drink on game day. I watch games at home. I watch the first half of LSU at home. I drive to Don Juan. I drink water during the second half, and then when we're about to start the show, Brittany, the bartender, always comes says, "You ready?" And she brings me a neat pour of Sazerac, and I drink that and have my cigar, and that's it. So I mean, it ain't like. And I'll tell you this: after the Mississippi State game, that was such a big win at the time. Considering, I mean, if you could put yourself back in that mindset now, I mean, it was before you beat Florida and Auburn, and you lost to Florida State, and you were wondering how things were going to go. After you beat Mississippi State, like, I did hang around after the show and have a few beers, and I Ubered home. But anyway. Had the privilege of watching the entirety of the Bama-Tennessee game with my buddy from Bama. That's one of those games I'll remember for a long time. That's also one of those games that CBS turned into a 4.5-hour affair. That game ended. There was about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter of the LSU game by the time the Bama-Tennessee game ended, which is just insane. Let's see, Ben Neck. Good morning, Matt. Who dat? On my way to NOLA now for the game. We'll be wearing and cheering for the black and gold only. We cheered enough for LSU last night. Amen. Carrie, Notre Dame allowed Stanford their first FBS win. That's right. Stanford had only beaten Colgate up to this point. Let's see. Brambo Focus should be stopping the run this week. Baskerville and Perkins should be featured again. Yeah, it's a very similar game. The perception of the perception of Lane Kiffin and his offense is going to be pass, pass, pass. That's not Ole Miss this year. Ole Miss is a run-heavy team. Ole Miss had 3 guys yesterday, 3 players against Auburn go over 100 rush yards. Here you go. Judkins, 25 for 139. Evans, who's the TCU transfer, 21 for 136. And then Dart, the quarterback, had 14 rushes for 115. And the long rush of the game was 41 yards by Judkins. So, like, Ole Miss ran the ball 69 times against Auburn and threw it 19. So, do not be confused. This is not Lane Kiffin. They're going to go spin it 50 times in this game. They are coming here to run the ball with pace. They actually slow down a little bit, but they're going to go tempo at times. They will run the ball, and they're going to look to gash you with big plays on the ground. Deborah Coward, what's going on? Michael Guidry from inheriting a dumpster fire. 5-2 don't look so bad. Just saying, absolutely. And it's not just 5-2, Michael. It's how the 5-2 looks. You beat Mississippi State at home. By the way, I told you I had Kentucky. State is people oversold State's win over Arkansas without KJ Jefferson. So, I had Kentucky last night on the money line. Not surprised to see them win it all. But you beat State, you beat Auburn, you beat Florida. I mean, those are big wins, man. Hey, bud.
Wheel of Fortune on the TV.
You want Wheel of Fortune on the TV?
Yes.
You want to ask Mommy?
Ma.
Mommy can help. Michael Adams, Matt, do you have an update, total win prediction after last night? No, Michael, I mean, look, I think if they beat Ole Miss, I think they get to 8. I think they get to 8-4, which was my preseason prediction. But I had them beating Florida State, which they didn't do. So I still think improbably that is possible. So Michael Blanco, Ole Miss is going to score their points. LSU is going to have to match them. Yep. Brian Arsenault, Matt, in your opinion, who do you think has the worst defense, Ole Miss or Florida? We just haven't seen Ole Miss challenged, and I think yesterday showed what Ole Miss's defense really is, and it's about to get hairy for them. They're about to play a lot of high-scoring games, and the fact that game's in Baton Rouge, I like LSU. Louis Bergeron, Brian Kelly can coach. Something we've known because he's done it for 32 years successfully, although some people like to discredit it. Ty Fly, did you see LSU receivers getting separation? Sometimes, Ty, but a lot of times, Jay Daniels was throwing 50-50 balls. I mean, the ball Brian Thomas caught in the end zone was a 50-50 ball. The 29-yarder that Brian Thomas caught that they overturned on review, which was crazy, was a 50-50 ball. The touchdown to Jure, he just put it up and let him make a play. 54-yard touchdown. The ball on the sideline to Kayshawn on the opening drive, not the 40-yarder, but it was 3rd and 15 where he caught for 14 yards. And he collided with he threw it between two Florida defenders. Let his dudes go make a play, man. Charlie Cavell, Perkins is so stupid good. He is, man. He is. All right. Todd Harrison and Besh got hurt. Any concern the lack of snaps he's getting? No, I'm not concerned with it. I mean, you put up 45 points and 500 yards of offense. I mean, some days it's going to be some guy's turn, and some days it's going to be other guys' turn. To the point about Besh, I mean, the coaches made a real sort of intentional effort to get him involved. They're in special teams, returning kicks and punts, and then he's muffed one each of the last 2 weeks. Look, I love Jack Besh, y'all. I mean, as a player, I love him. Personally, I think he's awesome. We got to know Jack a little bit. He's great, dude. And he's going to have great days. He's going to have great days this year for this team and next year throughout his career. And he just hit a rough patch in these last couple of weeks. It happens, and he'll bounce back. I don't worry about that at all, man. All right, y'all, smash that like button if you're watching there on YouTube. Do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe up to the Matt Moscona channel if you haven't done it yet. Facebook, please, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all. Let's see, Clint, Peyton, MC. Jermaine Gordon, 2 muffs by Besh are going to occupy space in his head. I don't think so, Jermaine. Jack is a mentally tough kid, man. He will be fine. I really, really, really don't worry about that at all. Exius, let's see, clutch kick by Ramos. Yeah, I mean, that's so true because you're up 7. So that was the only point where we were kind of sweating a little bit because at the first play of the fourth quarter, won't back down, all that stuff, 81-yard touchdown run. Now all of a sudden it's 42-28. You're still at 14. You're feeling good, but you get the ball back, and this is where you didn't convert. You had the 3rd and 3 in case Sean dropped that cross. So you had to punt to him, and then they went down the field and scored. And that was the play. That was the drive where Jay Ward had the personal foul for flinging the guy out of bounds. It wasn't good. So now all of a sudden they score, you're only up 7, and you have to put together a drive. And, you'd thrown the pick and got the break on the roughing call. And from there, you started chewing clock. Boy, I didn't love that they took a deep shot on 2nd down. You're up 7. They took a deep shot instead of keeping the clock running. But anyway, you had 3rd and 8, and Brian Thomas came up with the 11-yard reception on that sort of low pass, but he got his hands under it. But you were a yard short, and they went for it on 4th and 1, and Josh Williams got the yard. So that pretty much sealed the game for all intents and purposes. But you kicked the 47-yard field goal. You're up 45-35. Damian Ramos, the 47-yarder, just stroked it. It was awesome to see. Huge, probably the biggest kick so far of his life. LSU bought an offense on Prime Day this week. Looks like the Nuss bus will be parked for a while. I don't know why any of y'all thought that they would crank up the ignition. I've said this forever. It's mind-boggling to me. Anyway. Shannon Mack, I agree with deferring philosophy back in Breeze Prime, especially 09. Saints chose to receive every time they won the toss because they knew they would score. And I don't even care if you're going to score. it's about trying to get back-to-back possessions at the end of the first half and start the second half. Kyle DeVille, what's up? Let's see, Matt Lusto. I'd love to see Jaden release time in this game versus previous games with struggles. He looked more decisive. Kyle DeVille, what's up, Matt? Jacked about LSU's win last night, LFG. Cortland, let's see. Now, Cortland's disagreeing, saying, no, the Saints always deferred. I don't know, and I don't care. You defer. It's why it's why everybody defers. There are analytics now, which are such a part of things, whether you agree with it or not, that tell you percentages of why you do certain things. It's why in overtime you always choose to go on defense first. It's the same thing. Jesse, Matt, I thought the Thomas overturn was bogus. It changed the momentum. It did absolutely change the momentum because at that point, that was right after Richardson's 81-yard run. So you're still up 14, and you're thinking, all right, we'll just go score here, go back up 21, and it's over. And that was a 29-yard reception, which would have had you right in field goal range. At least you would have been in scoring range. And then you had the Keyshawn drop on 3rd and 3. I mean, I call it a drop, but it was behind him, but tough catch, but should have made it. And you punted. So yeah, I mean, it was massive. It was a massive overturn. but the players love Freeman. Trivia Carter, what up, E-Rock? E-Rock's in the other room. Sorry, I'm a little behind on Brian Driscoll still thinks it's Brian Kelly's fault. Let's see. Ricky Nelson. Let's see. Shane O'Mac, Saints defer every game now. Okay, let's see. Hey, buddy. You want to come say hi to Dad's show?
Never Mickey Mouse.
You want to come say hi to Dad's show?
I never Mickey Mouse.
You want Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
On TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never Mickey Mouse.
Sorry, y'all. Hang on one second. Drew wants Mickey Mouse. What am I to do? Here you go. I'll entertain you with this. Okay.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone Ontario.
All you need is hard
Call Hardco Roofing.
364.
1007.
There you go. Fast and fast. Holy moly. He treats the TV like it's a touchscreen. Fast, fast. Like whenever I'll pull out the remote to like scan different shows that he wants, whatever, and he'll like go up and he'll be like, mouse good. He'll like touch the TV screen. Mouse good day. Right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go to the bottom and work my way back up. Larry Francis, enjoy and remember those days with your son. They go fast. Yeah, man. Daniel Blunt, what's going on? Get him, man. Jacob Hibbard, Matt's a good dad. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Best job in the world, man. Tad Page. Yeah, man. Nola Brothers facing off in the NLCS. That would be cool. Wait, did the Padres win? I didn't get the final score last night. I know the Yankees lost. Oh, God, they're on the brink of blowing an amazing season. What's going on here? Why is this not loading? Come on. What's going on here? Come on now. Hey, bud. Fast. My internet is just circling right now. Oh well, I don't know why I'm buffering. I hope y'all still have me. It looks like you do. Anyway, okay. Wow. So the Padres did win. So it's Padres. It's gonna be Padres Phillies. Wow. If the Dodgers, if the Yankees, the Braves are already done. If the oh my God, dude, the Yankees and the Dodgers get bounced in the divisional series. Oh my God, that would be so depressing. Let's see. Let's see. David Michael Babbitt. I'm so confused, Matt. On OTB, Hester says go with Garcia Roofing Bengals. So we all have different endorsements. Any company can advertise on fast. Any company can buy airtime and advertise, right? You can buy recorded spots, but we get to choose our endorsements. So like when I voice a spot, when I say this is Matt Moscona, call so and so, like that's I'm a paid endorser, but I get to choose who I endorse. Like I endorse Darren James. Like Darren is a friend, an awesome realtor, and I've endorsed him for years and years and years. I 2 years ago became a partner in HUDCO Roofing, so I would very much appreciate that when you have a need for a roofer, you call us. Because I'm not just an endorser, I'm a partner in the company. Like I'm an equity partner in the company. So that's me and Ryan Terrio, and my role basically is from a marketing promotion standpoint to help make the phones ring and to build brand notoriety and awareness and sort of stuff like that. But we have an amazing team of people who are the construction management side and who know all about roofing and all the contractor stuff that I don't know. So yeah, that's why I said like I would really appreciate if that would be like you want to do a favor for me Sunday morning. Been here for an hour. 3:58 still watching live on YouTube. I can't see how many are watching live on Facebook anymore. I don't know where those settings went, but anyway. Oh yeah, wait, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, 34 watches still live there. So if somebody watching right now could click the link that's pinned, fill out the form on the homepage, it'll take you 30 seconds. That lets us come give you a free roof inspection. And I would say this, so often people think roof damage after a storm like Ida is, your big portions of your roof are blown off. A lot of times it could be like blistering, like you could have damage with your shingles that would have been lifted or peeled back, or that are creating slow leaks that you just don't know until it all pools and you see spots on your ceiling. But that's damage that can happen that you can't find or can't see from the ground. You won't know until you get up there and look. So it's why you have homeowners insurance. It's why you have insurance. It's why you have a named storm deductible. Is when a storm like Ida comes through, you get things like that fixed. So Jacob Hibbert said the Sudco served the Salt Lake area. Hey man, if it's a big enough job, I guess we can come out there and do it. But I would love it if someone would just click the link, fill out the form on the homepage, let us come give you a free inspection. Or you can call 364-1007, 364-1007. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. That's what I always say, do business with someone you know. Larry Francis, CBS game for Ole Miss. Yes, Ole Miss will be at 2:30, but I think there's a great chance that the Bama game is going to be a night game because CBS most certainly, we'll find out, because we'll find out tomorrow about the next week. CBS most certainly is going to pick up CBS is most certainly going to pick up Georgia, Tennessee, which means LSU, Bama will likely be a night game on ESPN, which would be awesome. Son of Edelweiss, maybe these Jay Daniels haters will shut the hell up now. All the dogs in the MLB playoffs dropping like top dogs dropping like flies. Jonathan 8888808. No cleats were thrown in the playing this football game. Palermo Trapani, what's going on? Murder Giraffe, Notre Dame losing to Marshall and Stanford. They should really fire Brian Kelly. Well done. Palermo Emery has made some plays for LSU in the Auburn and Florida games on the road. I don't think it's fair to compare him to Cardell Thomas, who's never really made any plays. I must have missed that comment before, but yeah, I mean, I think John's thing has largely been opportunity to get on the field. I mean, he missed an entire year of football. Daniel Blunt, if this O-line was a year older. Hey, look, next year's like, I think T-Bob and I talked about this yesterday on Whiskey and Wine. As much as the offensive line has been an issue this year, and it has been a lot of this season, they were great yesterday. Look at next year. You'll have Campbell and Emory Jones as your tackles with a year of starting experience. You'll have Charles Turner as a fifth-year senior and a year of starting experience. You'll have Garrett Dellinger back at left guard, who's one of your best linemen. And you should have Bradford back at right tackle. At right guard. So your starting five should return next year, and they should be five really good players. So, man, like your offensive line next year should be one of the best lines in the SEC. And that just completely changes everything you try to do when you have a stable offensive line that can give your quarterback time to throw and can open holes for your running game. And it's just, for an offense to function when your offensive line is a sieve is nearly impossible. And through 7 games, you've had 6 different line combinations. So you stabilize that, moving into next year, getting all these young guys experience. That's awesome. You're going to be better for it. Let's see, Bradlin Anderson. Matt, I don't understand Josh Williams playing so much. Is it the Goodwin injury? To me, Emory feels a lot like, you said Carter. Okay. So Armani Goodwin, when he was healthy, was your starter. And Armani may be back next week, which would be cool. But I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not going to sit here and tolerate Josh Williams slander right now. And this is coming from a guy who, 2 years ago, in some key moments, there was one, I got to remember the exact game. Anyway, they ran a pass at the goal line to Josh Williams, a swing pass, and he couldn't get to the pylon. And I made a comment on Whiskey and Wine that was not well received, and in hindsight, I do regret it because it felt like I was probably knocking the kid, which I don't like to do. But it was essentially like, why are you giving the ball to the walk-on when you got all these scholarship running backs you've recruited and you're giving the ball at the goal line to a walk-on? And I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. Right now, like last night on that 4th and 1, after on LSU's final possession where they got the field goal, they had a 4th and 1. Nobody on the team I'd rather them give the ball to than Josh Williams. He is low to the ground. He runs hard. He keeps his legs moving forward. He protects the football. He does not have explosive ability. That's undeniable. But look at the 50-yard run that he had to start the second half. That wasn't an explosive play. That wasn't his athleticism. That was just being a really tough runner. Like, he got hit at the line, he broke a tackle, and then he just kept shedding dudes, kept his legs moving, and he couldn't get him on the ground. Like, John Emery is by a mile a more dynamic talent than Josh Williams, not debatable. But man, if you need someone who is going to move forward, is going to protect the football, you need a yard. Like, if you ask me right now, I need 1 yard. Who are you giving the ball to? Josh Williams, without hesitation. So I can acknowledge that there are guys who are far more talented and will have longer football careers and all that stuff on this team. But in a key moment, that's the kid I'm giving the ball to. I need a yard, give it to Williams. He'll get me the yard. Kenyon Hudson. I go on Irish Breakdown just to say dumpster fire. Cliff Nelson, what's good? Snickerdoodles and coffee. Thank you, E-Rock. # Team Drew. Always good to see you, Cliff. Appreciate you for coming out last night, man. Cliff popped in to Don Juan. Cliff has made his. I think Cliff comes to Don Juan primarily just to get Erica's baked goods, so that way he can have his coffee with the other baked goods on Sunday morning. So yeah, last night Erica did snickerdoodles and some like little brownie thing with fudge and M&Ms. You know, it's like it's basically type 2 diabetes in a pan. It's crazy. Peyton MC, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith's comments? Yeah, I talked about that on Peyton. I talked about that on Friday's AFR, bottom of hour 2. It's like right in the middle of the show. If you want to go back and check it out, I thought they were irresponsible, quite honestly, because of the platform that he had to make those comments that were unfounded and baseless. That is an irresponsible comment to make. I mean, if he were willing to source it, even if he wasn't going to give a name, but say, I have spoken to a key LSU administrator who told me blank, right? That's different than what I'm hearing down there is fans don't like him, the town don't like him, the administrators don't like him, the players don't like. None of that's true. Like literally none of that is true. I mean, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of y'all live here too. Y'all hear that? I hadn't heard that. Daniels made Tom Petty back down. Crazy. Let's see. Man, these comments are coming. John Boudreaux, let's see. No Saint, good morning. Been catching replays, had a chance to say hi live. Good to see you, No Saint. Thanks for being there. Devin Kelly, Jared Matt never said he wanted to hire Mel Tucker. I would have been fine with them hiring Mel Tucker. What I said, and here's what I said. This is what I said. And I'll tell you this. I don't know who brought up Mel Tucker. I don't know why. Anyway, whatever. What I said was, and there's one thing professionally that does make me very angry. Like one thing that 100% of the times will really piss me off. Everything that I do and say is recorded. I do so many shows, right, from Morning Scone and LSU Daily and obviously AFR and Whiskey and Wine and Scone and Tea and interviews and all these. Like I do so much content that I can't be inconsistent, because if I was, I could never keep track of what I said. So I know what I say about things because I say it I say the same thing on all the platforms that I'm on all the time. Just let you consume it how you want it. What I said a year ago about Mel Tucker was this. I had a conversation with someone who works in the Alabama athletic department. Someone who is an LSU person who works in the Alabama athletic department, who I know well. And this person told me, this person said to me, the only two coaches that would be a problem for us meaning Alabama, said the only two coaches that LSU could hire that would be a problem for us would be Billy Napier and Mel Tucker. Because both were from the Saban tree and both are mini Sabans. They know how to build a program in the manner in which Saban did. And some have succeeded, like Kirby has succeeded at that. Jimbo has succeeded about that, current success or lack thereof notwithstanding. You understand. Derek Dooley did not. Will Muschamp did not. Right? I mean, there's this person telling basically Napier and Tucker they get it. And they would be a problem with LSU's resources. So I would have been fine with Mel Tucker. I think LSU did much better hiring a coach that's been a head coach for 32 years and has been to 2 playoffs and a BCS championship game and has won everywhere he's been. You all know the thing. But anyway, I don't know why that conversation got unearthed. Who brought that up? Robert Potts, Matt, hope we'll hear your replay later in the replay because we're headed to church. Kelly seemed very happy and confident with last night's play. Ole Miss seems to be rolling. Do we have a good chance? Early line on that game is Ole Miss -2. I think LSU not only has a great chance, I think LSU will win the game at home next week. If Jaden Daniels says, I will play one more season at LSU, someone gives him a massive NIL deal, would that make LSU a top 10 team? Trivia, let's see how the next month plays out. It would be great to have a fifth-year senior at quarterback with experience in the offense and all that stuff. Absolutely. And I'm going to be very curious to see how many players LSU signs this offseason. Because they're going to sign, because there's no more hard cap of 25. So Brian Kelly said last week, I think they're at 76 scholarship players. So, I mean, they may sign 40 this year to get their numbers back to 85. Chris Roy, Matt, who are your NFL plays for today? Chris, I'm blind betting the handicappers picks. So about 11:30-ish, maybe a little before then, y'all tune in to Jimmy Ott's Football Sunday, and he has their handicappers that come on and give their best bets for the day, and they're winning at an incredible clip right now. I mean, I listen to that and I make all their plays, and especially if there's consensus, like sometimes 3 or 4 handicappers give the same play. If that happens, then I hammer it. I'll give you an example of what happened yesterday. Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern was playing James Madison. James Madison got ranked. Like 4 of the handicappers on Jimmy's show all had Georgia Southern plus 12 or whatever it was against James Madison. Georgia Southern won outright. So if I ever hear that, like if I hear like multiple of the professional handicappers giving the same play on Ott's show, then I hammer it. So that's, Chris, I mean, I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, and if there are dudes that are professional handicappers that are giving out their best bets for the week, and they're at a winning clip, I'll play theirs. Rapping batches, Cody Champion tuning in from Mississippi. All right, Isaiah Washington, what's good? Did those Crimson Tide really wake up and lose to the Vols? It's a great Sunday morning in Georgia. Go Dogs, okay? Jarrett, Matt, you heard Brian Kelly's comments on Emory and Campbell. I did not listen to because when we start post game, we start whiskey and wine as soon as the game ends, and then when I leave Don Juan, I'm listening to Hanny and Jeremy in the car on the ride home. So, but I will go back as soon as I finish here. I'll go back and listen. Oh, ESPN's doing a Burrow Chase feature in the Dome. There's Jamar beating AJ Terrell. So good. Oh my God, it was so good. So good. Are they just showing highlights of this game? Why are they showing highlights of this game? Remember when LSU was down 10 in that game, and the Clemson people thought they were going to win, but they really weren't. LSU blew them out. I will never forget just sitting there like watching the Clemson fans in that ball game, like watch them from their elation to just the elation just subside and continue to just devolve down to like, oh God, we're getting our ass kicked. Oh, man, they got burrowed. So good. Terrace Marshall. Oh, man. 42 to 25. There's Burrow with the stogie. Yes, sir. Got to work on Joe's cigar holding posture. Joey B showing up with the LSU Jamar Chase jersey on. Tugging at our heartstrings. He knows what he's doing. How could you just do anything but smile when you watch that? Incredible, man. Incredible. Brian Kelly said he's never seen 2 freshmen O-line so mature in all his years. That's awesome. Frazier adds depth. Ashley Megan. Okay, all about the line. Whoops, where did it go? A few more. Oh, wow. So far, when LSU wins, the Saints lose, vice versa. Let's buck that trend today. Ryan Rayford, I'll be at the Ole Miss game. First game watching LSU beat A&M and O's farewell. LSU's top 6 O-liner back next year, 5 starters plus Dellinger, top 2 tight ends, 2 of the top 4 wide receivers. Yeah, look, your receivers, you're going to lose Dre, you're going to lose Kayshawn, but you're going to get Brian Thomas. You're going to back. You get Malik back, Jack Besh, Chris Hilton will be coming back as well, and then this whole recruiting class coming behind him. You're going to be really good. You're going to be set there. Larry Francis, offensive line should be the strength in every game next year. Murder Giraffe has been confirmed. Tom Petty was even a Florida fan, obviously just from Gainesville. Well, his family was there in Florida stuff, so maybe so. Jared Esprit, you're so good at what you do. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate y'all watching, man. Thank y'all very much. It's not Mettenberger. Mettenberger is an LSU guy who's on staff at Bama, but it was not Zach Mettenberger. I'll tell you that. It was not Zach. Let's see. Jared Tucker's 3 and 4. LOL Mini Saban. Hey, look, had a great year last year. You got to build, man. Got to build a program. Boy, it's amazing how D'Antonio let that thing slip at the end in East Lansing after being so consistent for so long. The guy said, remember when Matt said wanted to hire Mel Tucker based off one lightning in a bottle? He was mischaracterizing. Oh, got it. Yeah, that's not what I said. But I would have been okay with him hiring. I mean, Mel Tucker wasn't my number one choice. When the whole thing started last year and they were having conversations about, James Franklin was one of the first names that we heard, because I know LSU did inquire about Franklin and his interest. That I think would have been my choice initially because of the success we saw him have at Vanderbilt. And I thought, guy knows the league, he knows how to recruit, he could get players here, he could win. But I'm quite happy with how it all played out. There's more than one good coach who can win at places, you know that, right? Maybe Daniel stays next year, wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't see him beating out Howard, though. Oh, so he doesn't have to beat out Nuss? What happened to the Nuss bus? As always, shout out to Brock Yellow, Veterans Orthopedic Clinic, brortho.com. After Hours Clinic is open today. Of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. And how about Restored Motions? My girl, Crystal Poche, over there. If you have pain, she will bring you through that pain. I always encourage you, just book a session. Don't live in chronic pain. If you've tried everything, try Restored Motions. I'll go ahead and put the website in the comments here so y'all can see Restored Motions and restoredmotions.com. Let's see. Mark Hammond, do you think Daniels comes back? I don't, Mark. I've been told that when he was at Arizona State, it was always understood he was going to be a 3-and-done guy. COVID happened, kind of derailed things there, all the scandal, the coaching channel, whatever. He was going to come out. I mean, he was going to come out last year and decided to give it one more year, transfer to LSU. I would be very surprised if Jake Daniels spends a 5th year in college. I mean, I'm not making the decision for him, and maybe he will, but I would say I would be surprised if he did, based on what I've been told in the past. Aaron Everett, did you mention Besh? The reason he wasn't in uniform in the second half, he had a back injury. His back tightened up on him, and so they shut him down. Vernell Thomas, what's going on? Jason Brown, Josh Williams remind me of Hester. No. I mean, in the sense that you can trust them to not fumble and get positive yardage, yes. Hester also played 6 years in the NFL. Josh Williams ain't gonna sniff the NFL. Hester was bigger, faster, stronger than Williams. I mean, Williams is like 5'8". I mean, anyway, I don't love the comp. Unless if you're just talking about never fumble, gets positive yardage, all this stuff. Just to think we almost hired Napier, dodged a bullet there. They didn't almost hire Napier, actually. LSU never interviewed Billy Napier, and I think Billy Napier is going to win a lot of games in Florida. He's a really good coach. And chair bring in Drew. Hey, Drew! Drew! Come see. Hey, come see. I want to tell you something. Come see. Come see. Let me get my hands on you. Everybody wants to say, hi, Drew.
Hi, Drew.
No, you say, hi, Dad Show.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Well, that's a big stretch. Okay. Well, we'll sit on Dad's lap. Oh, you want to go watch? Hey, real quick. Hey, listen. What's today? What is today? Today is? Sunday. And on Sunday, who plays football on Sunday?
Saints play.
The Saints play. Hey, and what do we say when the Saints are playing?
Hold on.
But look at the camera. What do we say when the Saints are playing?
Who that?
Who dat is right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming, Drew. Your patience was rewarded. You got 20 seconds of Drew saying, who dat? John Hilburn, all right. DFW, thanks for being there. Appreciate y'all for watching as always. Yes, no who day, only who dat. Oh, thank you, Ashley Megan. Saw your sight words, doing great. Yeah, post that video, Drew, doing the sight words at therapy the other day. He did an awesome job. Progress every day. Larry Francis. Let's see. Eric Allen. All right. Kevin Orden, when I talk about John Emery, I thought John played really well last night. First career receiving touchdown. I thought his touches last night were productive touches. 3 receptions for 24 yards, if I remember off the top. And you didn't get as many carries because Williams had such a nice night. Emery, 8 carries for 31 yards. 8 for 31 and 3 receptions for 24. So, I mean, I'm good with John Emery having 10, 11 touches in a game. In particular, if, he'll have that one dynamic play, which there's 1 or 2, which is what he's kind of been, right? All right, y'all, I think we might be just about done here. Anything else? Did LSU try to recruit ATN? That would be a Shea Dixon question. I don't remember. It feels like maybe they got in on him late. Or maybe I'm just thinking of Travis. They got in on him late. And they couldn't flip him from Clemson. Carl the Cat, what's going on? Thanks, Joe and Chase, but it's all about the who dat today. You darn right. Can you explain why Saban won't play Ricks? No excuse for not knowing the playbook. Yeah, Paris Scott. He is still coming back from it. He had 2 shoulder surgeries. So, and his mom, Sean, actually posted on Facebook this week as well. So, look, candidly, I like their family a lot, man. They're a great family. Eli's a good kid. I think a lot of people forget he would have been having his 3rd different defensive coordinator in 3 years. The head coach that recruited him was gone. The cornerbacks DB coach, Corey Raymond, obviously was gone to Florida. So He left and picked a spot that was would be good for him. So hard to blame him, man. Same thing with Max Johnson. Same thing with all. The hard thing that I think the thing that I would encourage you as a fan to consider is with the new rules the way they are with the portal, like you're going to have guys leave. But the flip side of it's also true, where you gain players. Like your entire secondary right now is made up of transfer players. Jark Bernard Converse, Colby Richardson, Greg Brooks, Joe Fouché. It's all transfer players, man. Like, they left somewhere to come to your school. So, I mean, your quarterback, Jaden Daniels, is a transfer. He left Arizona State to come. So, like, you can't be contradictory. Like, you can't insult a kid for leaving your program and then cheer a kid who you got. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand, like, that's the reality, is that the system is built to allow student athletes to make decisions that they feel is in their best interest. And I'm good with that. Like, I'm very good with that. So you can't crack on Elias Ricks for leaving LSU and going to Bama when LSU was a dumpster fire and praise guys that left their school to come to LSU because now they're your guy. Like, you just have to understand that it's the way the system works. You're going to lose players, but you're also going to gain players by that same rule. So you just wish everybody well, man. That's like, it's college people. Poetry? Oh, Drew, you're killing me. You want poetry? Yeah. Okay. And fast? Fast? Yeah. Okay. I'll be back in 2 seconds again, wanting a different show on Fast Forward. I forgot what we're talking about. On. Okay. Told you in 2 seconds. Anyway. Hi, baby. What? What? Use your words.
No, for classical.
You want another class? I just put one on for you. You want another classical baby?
Yeah. Be cute.
He's handing me the remote. Thank you. He just handed me the remote. He's like, another classical baby? He wants me to change the channel. Okay. All right, which one do you want? What do you want? Classical baby? What? Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. How could I say no to you, Drew? Wheel of Fortune or AFR? AFR. He's watching old recorded episodes of AFR when we were on CST. He's... Fast? All right. That's what's fast. He's watching old recorded episodes of AFR on CST. God bless y'all for sticking around. 364 if you're still watching. I appreciate it so much. All right. Any more? Ryan Rayford, listen every day, AFR every day. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Matt, was Sarah Perkins recruited by Ed or Brian Kelly? Kelly's the one that flipped him. I mean, he was committed to A&M, and and Kelly flipped him. Or well, let me rephrase. Kelly was the head coach when he flipped. I don't know if I don't know who on staff was the primary recruiter there. You're right, Matt. I love cheering for Coy Moore. He gifted us 2 turnovers. That's good. Let's see, J-Dog, I was ready to give up on Daniels. Glad he had a good game. I don't know why y'all were ready to give up on. I mean, I do, because I understand the nature of fans. But, like, as I've been saying for weeks and weeks, Jaden Daniels was not LSU's problem. It's just easy to blame the quarterback. LSU's problem has been you have a very porous offensive line. You commit silly penalties. You've made special teams gaffes. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you that he's the second coming of Joe Montana, but he also isn't your biggest problem. And if you put in a young quarterback that's turnover prone, then things get really bad. Gotcha, Paris. Someone on SportsCenter said Saints D-line will be a non-factor today. Alan Black, interested in crowd reactions to Burrow and Chase making plays today. Gregory Gordy, get rid of Joe Tess, hire the Scone. I would do that job. If there's one thing that I would, if I were ever to stop doing AFR for another job, I would like to do television play-by-play. I would like to do play-by-play. That's what I always thought I would do, quite honestly. Like when I was a kid, like I thought I wanted to be like voice of the Tigers, but I have no desire to do. I do not want to be like LSU play-by-play voice. I mean, the job's not open, first of all, but I wouldn't want. A lot of people ask me if I would apply when Jim retired, and I have no desire to do that. I mean, it is football. Every football game, every basketball game, every baseball game, every coach's show, and you're responsible for all of the audio on the network and everything. No. It's like something like 47 weekends out of the year are spoken for. It's like, no thanks. It's just not a good job. Okay, yeah, Ashley, please send it to me. All right, let's see. I think we're just about done. Saints top 3 receivers are out for today's game. I know. This year made me realize how important special teams is. Seems so routine, you forget how important it is until it's bad. Paris, go remember 2017. They were bad in 2017 as well. And then they brought in McMahon. Ed brought in McMahon, which was one of Ed's best hires. Maybe his best hire, quite honestly. All right, y'all, I think we're done. Appreciate y'all so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe up to the show. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, brortho.com. After Hours Clinic is open today. It's a Sunday, so you can get on by always. Bypass the ER. After Hours Clinic is open. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Like I always mentioned, would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Hudco link is pinned. Please click that link on the homepage. You'll see the little form, or you can email me directly, matt@hudcoroofing.com, matt@hudcoroofing.com. And of course, Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. If you have pain, holler at my girl, Crystal Poche. She will take you out of your chronic pain, no matter what you're dealing with. Just book a session, restoredmotions.com. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Go Tigers, and who dat? Let's get a win today for the black and gold. See y'all. Peace.